Hi everyone, I'm Thea, and today I am going to be starting a series on mythological creatures that I will update every single Saturday, or I'll try to. And I just wanted to stop right here and say thank you to everyone who voted on the Hatchling Clan Amino. I put up a poll to decide the first video. The one that got chosen was the Kitsune, and I also want to take a second to do a shout out to two particular members who suggested the gods from our last video that we posted up on Thursday. And I wanted to say thank you to Astral Drop, who suggested Aryan Rod, and Mystic Aura, who asked for the Dogda. Thank you guys so much, and if anyone else wants to comment below and give us any suggestions for either a creature that you want me to do on my Saturday videos, or a god or goddess that you want to be seen on our Thursday videos, just let us know in the comments below. Thank you guys so much. Alright, so earlier I said that we are going to be talking about the Kitsune today, and some of you might have an idea what that is. It's very popular in anime culture. Others are like, what are you talking about? So, a Kitsune is basically a Japanese fox spirit, and they are very popular in anime culture. They are shapeshifters and are considered tricksters, and they can only take human form after they've been lived for 100 years. So if you see an anime or even see a kitsune at some point in your life and they are a human, they're pretty old. And they can only duplicate a human form of their own after their 100th birthday, and that also means that they can't shapeshift into another human being. Like, they can't pretend to be you unless they're after 100 years old as well. They usually take the form of young girls, young Japanese girls, beautiful women, or older men. And if you ever see a kitsune with more than one tail, then they are considered very wise. They can grow up to 9 tails, and the more the tails that the kitsune has, it shows that the older that they are. Like, it also shows that they have more wisdom and power than one with 2 tails. Let's say you see a fox with 2 tails running around, and then you see a fox with 9. The guy with 9 is going to have a lot more power. It's also said that their power comes from their tails. And so to kill a kitsune, you have to cut off the right tail, the main one, the first one that they had. And since they can have up to 9, you usually have to cut off all of them before you actually find the main one. They are said to be superior in intelligence, and they also have long lives and a plethora of magical powers. The word kitsune actually literally translates into fox spirit, but they aren't considered to be ghosts. The word spirit is supposed to indicate that they have an enlightenment that most foxes don't. They also have knowledge. Yes, I am reading this off of the page. There are 2 common classifications of kitsune, and there's also 13 different types, which is basically what element they use, really. There's the Zenko Kitsune, they are considered to be benevolent and celestial, They usually work with the god Inari, and they're the ones that most people don't think of, but the ones that everyone thinks of is the Yakko Kitsune. By the way, Zenko translates into good fox, and Yakko translates into field fox. Yakkos tend to be more mischievous, and actually some of them can tend to be malicious. And the reason why I say that most people think of them is because a lot of animes that I've watched have a Yakko Kitsune. Also, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing any of these. Like they have a Yakko Kitsune who's being controlled and forced to be nice by a god or a human being. They hate that, by the way. They don't like their freedom being taken away. That's one of their biggest pet peeves. They hate it. If you do manage to get control over them, the second that the control is, you don't have control over them, they're going to get you for it. They hate being controlled. They love being able to do whatever they want. Okay, sorry for the little detour there. Now we're going to go on to the types. There are 13. There is the heaven, also known as celestial or prime foxes. There's void foxes, which is basically dark. There's wind, spirit, fire, earth, river, ocean, mountain, time, thunder, and sound. And back to being controlling of them. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I definitely did not have a plan for this. I never really do. Anyway, how do you control a kitsune? Well, every kitsune has a kitsune ball or star ball, and this is basically their life force. If you get a hold of one, you are capable of telling the kitsune to do whatever you want them to do. They can run off and just get your groceries if you want them to, but they are going to hate you for it the minute that they get their ball back, and they're going to try to get it back. They're very sneaky and tricky, and they will either trick you into giving it back, or they're going to distract you so that they can just sneak around and snap back. When they get it back, you are going to have a bad time. They're not going to be happy, and they have a lot of power, especially if you manage to snap one of a nine-tailed fox. By the way, cool story about nine-tailed foxes. They actually are capable of hearing and seeing all over the world. That's how powerful they are. Then when they're in human form, they're nearly impossible to tell when they're like a kitsune. Like you look at a person and you're like, is that a kitsune or a human being? I don't know. A couple of ways to tell is they tend to have fox-like faces. If you don't know what that means, they kind of have a narrower face with closer set eyes and higher cheekbones. And for a while, actually, in ancient Japan, that used to be the ideal female face. It was considered to be extremely attractive to have a fox-like face because kitsune are beautiful. Now, they are also terrified of dogs. It doesn't matter if they're in human form or in fox form, they are terrified of dogs. They don't like them. And they also have a hard time hiding their tails. It's like their illusions, that's like the one thing their illusions can't really hide. So if you see somebody with a tail or more than one tail, you're probably talking to a kitsune. Some of their common abilities that they have attributed to them are possession. Their mouths and tails can generate a fire or lightning. It's called a kitsune bai or foxfire. they can have willful manifestations of the dreams of others, and they can fly, they can be invisible, and they can create illusions that are so elaborate that you couldn't tell them between the illusion and reality. And there was also legends of a kitsune female who ended up getting married to a human male without him knowing. And once he found out that she was a fox, he would cast her out, and then he'd go through this like time of abandoning his family. And at the end of the story, it would usually go he'd wake up dirty, ragged, old, and he has to go back to his family in shame. Um, when I was reading that, I didn't really get a lot of information on it. It didn't say why he was leaving. I'm guessing it was to try to find her and bring her back, because the female kitsunes are actually very devoted and kind wives. Or maybe, like, I don't know. I'll have to re-research that part. But they were kitsunes also usually marry each other. And it was thought that if it was raining with a clear sky, that, well, it was often called a sun shower, that was a sign that two kitsunes were getting married. And it was considered a very, very good omen. But don't try to go to the wedding. They will punish any uninvited guests that try to show up. Um, that's all that I have on kitsunes. I tried to do a lot of research into it, but I didn't want to drone on for you guys. So I'll probably put a link in the description of the website that I used for this information. So if you want to go there and check it out and get some stuff that I may have left out by forgetting to write it down, go ahead. And if you want to comment below any like cool facts that you know about a kitsune that I might have missed, then go ahead and do that. Also, you know, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the little bell if you want to. Blessings to everyone, and have a wonderful day or night. Thank you.